Truth Serum Nation. Look who's back again, Truth Serum Nation. I don't need this microphone. Why do you see these bums on YouTube with their microphones? Look, yeah, here's a microphone, and then they're wearing headphones. These whatever they are. Lest I digress. Breaking news: Israel, Iran ceasefire. Oh, okay. Donald Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize, of course. Peace by strength. And just last night, the Prime Minister of Iran was in Istanbul, and he was up there talking, America, no good, America. We slapped Iran around a little bit. We slapped them around. Enough's enough. And they had the posture, because what happened, Iran? What happened? You look to Russia for some sympathy? What did Russia say? You kind of been doing some global terrorism, if you hadn't noticed. You've been the instigator and perpetrator of global terrorism, in case you're that naive. And we don't really want to get involved. Where's China? Where's China? Where's America's great enemies that got your back, Iran? Where are they? The Prime Minister was up there last night, and the violation of the UN Security Council. Iran has completely ignored any diplomatic efforts forever and everything else. Hey, Deb. Hey, Joel. They've completely neglected everything from A to Z, and that bum Prime Minister gets up there. The UN. We're supposed to have approval from the UN Security Council and all this and that. Donald Trump said, I give my own self authority. I'm the leader of America that you've been instigating threats on us. Wasn't it Iran that tried to assassinate Donald Trump not once but twice? Hasn't Iran been the same terrorist country that's been in bed with the Joe Biden administration? And everything connected to evil, forget about Israel. Everything connected to evil against our country has been financed by Iran. So that bum Prime Minister got up there last night. We will not have any more of this. Were you waiting for a phone call from Putin? Were you waiting for a phone call from Kim? North Korea? China? What happened, Mr. Prime Minister of Iran? What happened? You talked all that smack, and now Russia don't have your back, North Korea don't have your back, and China don't have your back. So now you're ready to do a ceasefire that Donald Trump brokered. Because Donald Trump sent a message very clearly. This is only the beginning. We will take you off of the face of the earth. You want to play pity-patty games with America, which there might already be Iranian terrorist pockets on U.S. soil now because Joe Biden let them all in. So Iran is our natural enemy, not only Israel's natural enemy. Yes, we got Israel's back, but this is the same regime that tried to assassinate Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's got many valid reasons to smash Iran out. So they have a ceasefire that takes effect for 3 hours. I don't see any bombs in the air or nothing. I don't see Iran putting all these missiles in the air aimed at Israel. What happened, Mr. Prime Minister? Yesterday, you were talking all that smack. Today, you got your tail between the legs because the United Nations Security Council can't help you, and Russia ain't going to help you, and China ain't going to help you. So you're on your own, you bums, straight up bums. Trump has Iran cornered. You're not going to outthink Donald Trump. He promised to address these global terrorists that have been sponsored by Iran. When you follow the crumbs with assassination attempts, infiltration in our political government, Department of Homeland Security under the Biden administration, they infiltrated America. They got in through the border, and it's been carte blanche. Donald Trump promised it was going to end. Donald Trump promised. Hey, Kath. So, and now in our own legislative, Senate, Congress, and all of that, what will the Democrats say about Donald Trump bombed Iran? That wasn't we got bombs. That was kindergarten. We breached their airspace and they didn't even know it. Big, strong Iran, global terrorists, global threats, and everything else. We snuck in the front door. And I don't want to get evil. I don't want to get evil, but we all know what was going to happen next. The Israeli prime minister, the prime minister of Iran that was talking all this smack, never followed any of the UN policies or restrictions. Never. Iran's been disregarding all the restrictions and policy forever. And so they can't complain that Donald Trump went against the usual protocol, the cat and mouse shell game. We'll stop it. And then they continue to do it. No, you're not going to fool Donald Trump like that. But they knew, not to be evil, that we only hit some of your nuclear plants. Next time, forgive me, God, next time it will be your civilians. Just like when we dropped the bomb on Japan. So the prime minister all of a sudden has clarity and a new awakening that I better cut this crap off with Israel. I better cut this terrorism and everything else against Israel. He had an epiphany because he knows. And you know what? There should probably be a revolt that happens in Iran. Because these normal, regular people in Iran, they don't want all this conflict and all that. They're just regular people too. They want to have normal lives and have security and freedom. But you're going to have to remove them people from office. Because your leaders are going to walk you into getting slaughtered. Just like the Japanese leaders sacrificed all them people getting bombed. So all of a sudden, Prime Minister and the leader of Israel, the Ayatollah scumbag, says, I think now's a good time for a ceasefire. Last night, they were talking smack in Istanbul. How they plan on to continue. The Prime Minister was giving a speech last night in Istanbul. Oh, really? What woke him up? Because there might have been more planes coming in tonight. There might have been, they don't know. They can't defend their own airspace. Those stealth bombers, you can't defend them, folks. You cannot defend the stealth bombers. They cost $1 billion a piece. They come in, la-di-da, hit that target, boom. You got that one, Johnny? Hit this one, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. They come in, had a cup of coffee. They can refuel in midair. They can't defend it. So they were all sitting after they got bombed. They're all sitting thinking, when's the next one's coming? The next ones might not just want to hit nuclear targets. So they had a little time in less than 24 hours for some reflection. Donald Trump makes political campaign promises, and he keeps his political campaign promises to make America safe again. We're done playing pity-patty games with these third world scumbag countries that are the freaking instigators and biggest global terrorists. We're done. We had to get shamed in Afghanistan like that. Shamed in Afghanistan, look weak like that. The Ukraine, other wars, we look. Press the button. Press the button. The Gulf War, all those phony wars for profit, wasting our poor soldiers' lives because we had political leaders here that were feeding us lies from the tablecloth. So why should we sacrifice our soldiers for corrupted politicians that are only looking for behind-the-scene financial deals? No, let's send our stealth bombers in. We don't need to deploy any soldiers, and let's obliterate them. If you want to be at war with America and you want to proclaim death to America, you better be ready to take the wrath, especially when Donald Trump's in office. You could get away with that stuff when all these other candy asses were in office, all these other corrupted presidents. Joel Gold, how is it? So there's been an end to the 12-day war, and maybe they might overthrow the Ayatollah, that scum, leader of Iran. So we'll wait and see. I do not think that Iran will hold true to the ceasefire. I don't think they're wired that way. I think they have so much evil embedded in their DNA that they might say they're trying to catch their breath. See, they agreed to a ceasefire because they just got smashed. They're waiting for Russia or North Korea or China to come in and say, we got your back. No, they don't want to. Our military arsenal trumps theirs. No pun intended. Our military arsenal, we hit them with those stealths. We could hit them from outer space. No more soldiers on the ground losing lives. No more troops fighting phony wars for profit. You mess with America, you're going to get dealt with. And you've been doing it for decades under these failed leaders of America. So the party's over. Anybody else that wants to try sideways moves, third world countries, and anybody else, let a message be delivered by Donald Trump. Forget about the troops on the ground. We're blasting you from the air. And then you might come correct. And the rest of the world that's thinking about messing with America, they'll think twice. Because we'll start dropping some real bombs. We'll start dropping some real bombs. Okay? When's the last time America won a war? World War II? Well, how does America not win a war with our technology that surpasses their technology? How do we lose troops in Afghanistan? How do we lose troops in Vietnam? How do we lose one troop? Because we had political leaders that were using war for profit and sacrificing brave soldiers on the battlefield. Those days are over with. The last president that did that was Ronald Reagan. I voted for two presidents in my lifetime, Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump, coincidentally. So let a message be delivered to all these instigators that are financed by Iran. The trail of crumbs always leads back to Iran. They infiltrated our state departments under Joe Biden. They tried to assassinate Donald Trump twice. So even if Israel wasn't even in the picture, we got some unfinished business with Iran. Even if Israel wasn't in the picture, we got some unfinished business. So they call a ceasefire that's going into effect 3 hours, 6 hours from now. Robert B., how you doing, my friend? Good to see the beautiful Robert, Mr. Bergio family. God bless you and your family and everybody's family. It's the truth, sir. So they're trying to catch their breath. Ceasefire, 3 hour ceasefire, 6 hour ceasefire. They're trying to catch their breath so they can try to get some sympathy from Russia, North Korea, and maybe China. It's crickets. Well, China has a great financial interest in America because they own everything in America. So China's not going to bomb America. They own half America. So take that off the table, boys and girls. Take that off the table. Russia, Putin, where's he going? Where's he going? He's smart enough to know, well, listen, Iran, you've been playing these cutie pie games and this global terrorism for quite a while now. They got rid of the old Shah of Iran. What was that, 1979? The Shah of Iran, exiled. They brought in this the Ayatollah scumbag that promised to be a progressive country and all this and that. Then he fooled them. Then he started using Marxist tactics on his people that are petrified to say one bad word. So they're oppressed, the population of Iran. So everybody knows, all the powerful world leaders know that Iran is whack. But maybe they're dependent on the Iranian oil. Maybe we all got to look the other way because of Iranian's oil and a great supplier to the world. No, there's other ways we could get around Iran's oil. Okay? And you would have thought the barrel of oil would have skyrocketed today, but it maintained. It maintained. So, oh my gosh, don't do anything bad against Iran, world, because they'll just cut off the supply of oil. No. Sorry, but no. The stock market didn't drop. That's how much the global community is worried about that. You'd have thought a barrel of oil would have went to $200. No, because we got other ways of squeezing their necks. So the party's over. They're waiting around. They ain't getting any phone calls from China. They're not getting any phone calls from Russia. And they're not getting any phone calls from North Korea. Sorry, the Ayatollah Ming-Yun. Sorry, Mr. Prime Minister, that was talking all that smack last night. Sorry. You put your tail between your legs. You saw what was going to come next that could have happened tonight. Who knows what will happen tonight? And all of a sudden, there's a ceasefire in play. Yeah. All of a sudden, Ayatollah, death to America, death to Israel, and all of a sudden, a ceasefire. Wow. You knew the wrath was coming. You knew the wrath was coming. And you know that there might be a revolution in your country to overthrow your corrupt behind. So you're trying to read all the variables, and number one, you got to catch your senses and have a ceasefire, and then try to figure it out from there. Because there might have been more stealth bombers in the air tonight, and they only probably had uranium enriched to like 60%. It's got to be enriched to like 90%. But it's the beginning of everything else. And who was helping them move the uranium? China. China helped them move the uranium around. Yeah. But they won't have any military help from China. They won't have any military help. Because China still is dependent on them for oil. Yeah. The Ayatollah's up there. Yeah. Yeah, Donald Trump said it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, then why continue with the same regime? So Ayatollah is hearing footsteps because the next smart bomb will be landing on him. Let's do ceasefire. Let's do ceasefire right now. Let's figure this out. Yeah, because you might be looking in the air and it might be landing on you, Ayatollah. Death to America, death to Israel. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Because the Iranian population might be getting nervous feet and wondering, what if the next bombings hit them? What if the next bombs hit civilians? So they know they know how evil their government is, because the government comes in and takes your family out of the house and puts you in prison and executes you. So they know how dangerous their government is. The general consensus, the consensus of the regular population in Iran knows how evil their leader is. So they're thinking, we might have to get this leader out of here, but if we open our mouth, we're going to get executed, because if we don't get him out of here, we might get bombed like Japan. So they're going to lose sleep at night. They're going to lose sleep. So what are you left with? A ceasefire? So they can catch their breath. They ain't going to get any internet. They're not going to get any support from any superpower. They could talk diplomatic, flata, 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 flata. They could talk all that diplomatic gibberish that they're fluent in. It ain't going to work with Donald Trump. He doesn't play any of them games. We've been targeted, and it just seems like America under Joe Biden, that it's just supposed to be acceptable. The great country of America. Open the borders, let terrorists in, turn it into garbage. And what do the senators want to say about it? What can the Democrat senators say about it that will risk them getting reelected? Because if you're an opponent of a senator or congressman that talks any smack about this attack, you got political ammunition in the next election to say, listen, folks, this scumbag over here disagreed with Donald Trump bombing Iran. What am I running against? An Iranian sympathizer? After all the freaking terrorism they pulled on us, plus trying to execute our president, amongst a laundry list of other things. So do these senators and congressmen want to risk their political career and sympathize with Iran? Why? Because they've been getting envelopes for a million years when Biden was in? Why? All this backdoor money? So what are they going to do? Sympathize? Are they going to be pissed off about Donald Trump shouldn't have bombed. That wasn't even a bombing. That was only their nuclear stuff. Get a little excited if they don't change. And if they pull off one more cutie pie move, forgive me, God, I don't want innocent people to get hurt. But it will turn into Japan. So the Ayatollah Mingyun has no more cards left. The only cards he has left is to wait for some type of sympathy from a superpower, and it's crickets. It's crickets. The Ayatollah went to meet with Putin. What happened? Donald Trump got on the phone. Donald Trump brokered it with a phone call and said everybody better start acting right. We don't know what was said on that phone. He might have said, what you saw the other night was nothing. We'll make that look like the Boy Scouts, what we did the other night. You folks better come with a ceasefire, stick to a ceasefire, and you could go crying to Putin, Ayatollah and Prime Minister. You could go crying to Putin, but Putin is like in Scarface. You know, Putin is like in Scarface when the guy said, well, there's nothing we can do about it with the corrupt police guy. Well, there's nothing we can do. You really were causing a lot of trouble. You were really causing a lot of trouble. That's what Putin's telling them. Like they said in Scarface, you're kind of, you're on your own. You're on your own with this one. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that's the way it goes. It reminds me of Scarface. You're the big bully. You're the big bully until you get smashed in the mouth, and then you go crying, perpetrating and instigating and financing all these proxy terrorists all over the place. And then you get slapped across the face, and you now you can't get the sympathy from the superpowers. Really? Really? Act right. Act right. Don't start none, there won't be none. Act right. They're all crying. They're all crying. He's lucky it ain't a sheet of glass. They're lucky it's not a sheet of glass, Iran. They're lucky it's not a sheet of glass right now. Donald Trump is fulfilling all the promises he made during his campaign. The border's closed. Get these terrorists out. And let's clean this, get Israel straightened out. And deal with Iran. Iran that been trying to kill Donald Trump ever since he got in office the first time. They've been trying to kill Donald Trump all the way. Like I said, even if there was no Israel-Iran conflict, Donald Trump still got a beef with Iran. Now, how many terrorist pockets might be on American soil right now that Joe Biden let in? How many right now? That good old sleepy Joe Biden let in. How many? Well, Donald Trump says if there's going to be any attacks on our bases, if there's going to be any attacks on our military bases in that region, if there's going to be any terrorism on our soil, we're going to blame you, Iran. We're going to blame you, Iran, and we'll turn your country into glass. When you heat sand, it turns into glass. And we're going to drop it. We're going to drop it. So you want to play terrorist games. You want to mess with our bases, our military bases being attacked. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Donald Trump would love nothing more than to kill the people that tried to kill him twice. The trail always led back to Iran, and Iran funded proxies, terrorists. He would love nothing more than to wipe Iran off the face of the earth. They tried to kill him twice, and our government, State Department, was corrupted. The Joe Biden leftovers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. You send one little strike to any of our military bases, lights out. Lights out. The International Organization of Energy and all that, they will come in and allocate your oil gladly. They'll come in and take over your oil supplies and your oil production and natural gas. We'll come in and take it over. We want a piece of the action because there won't be no government left. There'll be no government left until you get a leader in there that acts right. It's a free-for-all. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. We'll see. Yeah. How long would this evil Ayatollah, he can't take the pressure. How long will he stay under the ceasefire? How long? How long will it take before he breaks and tries to strike Israel again or one of our military bases? That's all he knows is terrorism. That's all he knows. That's in his DNA. That's all he knows is to be an instigator of terrorism. And now at 80 years old, he's got to stop being a terrorist. How long will he be able to do that? Until he gets on the phone and says, yeah, strike Israel again. Yeah, strike an American base over here again. And then he knows he's committing suicide. Then he knows he's committing suicide. Hey, Johnny D. So, yeah. And they're having the NATO meeting. Geez, what an interesting NATO meeting that is going to be. The United Nations doesn't control what America does and all that. The Security Council over there, who's been corrupt and everything else, and we despise what Donald Trump did and all that. Yeah, they make all these agreements. They tiptoe around the real problems. And at the end of the day, Iran continues to do what they've been doing for decades. Donald Trump doesn't need the approval of these bullcrap international committees for peace and security when they look the other way while Iran's doing all these crimes. They think Donald Trump is stupid. He's seen that movie before. He's seen that movie when he was 14. He's seen that movie when he was 26. He's seen that movie as an adult. What, are you going to try to pull a fast one on Donald Trump? And he has to go through the regular protocol? So Iran can make all these false promises again and again and again? And the United Nations is pissed off about it? The United Nations? Yeah. They should be happy because wait till Iran comes to their neighborhood and tries to play the same bullcrap, and they need somebody to put Iran in check. But that's how polluted they are because they're all bought and paid for. So they don't think with any common sense and logic. The liberals side with Iran. Here they are at the White House. Here they are. Here's your liberals, folks. Here's your liberals at the White House. Here's the liberal freak show, folks. The liberals side with Iran. Yeah. Trump is a war criminal. Okay. Yeah, here they are. Here's your leftover wokesters. Here's your leftover freak show. Here's the liberals. Top Democrats sit Iran strikes out. Yeah, okay. So now you're going to get the political rhetoric from that. Trump's Iran strike sends the Dems into a tailspin on how to respond. They don't know how to respond. So they're Iran sympathizers. They're Iran sympathizers. That they sympathize with a country that wants death to America. You're going to see the liberals and the liberal media spin that. They could spin that till they're blue in the face. Donald Trump has got the majority approval of the Americans that voted him in. Your media bullcrap will be just what it is, bullcrap. And they could spin it, and there's Bernie. Here's Bernie Sanders, folks. There's Bernie. How dare you to strike Iran? Yeah. How dare you? Yeah. The holier-than-thou country of Iran. How dare you? That's preposterous. That's preposterous. Look at these mongrels. Look at these worn out, woked out, sketched out. AOC demands impeachment over Iran. Obama lit up the Middle East, didn't he? Obama lit up the Middle East. Oh, they forget history. Yeah. Fetterman applauds the strikes. I gotta say, for as crazy as that Fetterman is, he applauds it. He knows what's deep down. He knows what's up. Yeah. They're our arch enemy, trying to hurt us. That's how bought and paid for these liberal, woked out, rainbowed out Dems are. They just won't let go of the rope. They just won't let go of the rope. Yeah. Yeah. There they are. What a freak show. Even the demonstrators look sketched out. They're like an ilk of society. These paid for protesters. And then you look at AOC and Bernie Sanders. That's preposterous. We're talking about Iran, you idiots. We're talking about Iran. We're not talking about Switzerland or Sweden. No war. No war. Donald Trump is a monster. We love Iran. We love Iran. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Wait till the terrorists that are in America because of Biden starts crawling through their windows. They'll see how much they like Iran. Yeah. They got these weird out rainbows, straight rainbow coalition on steroids, freaks in the streets that just have nothing better to do. The freak show. The freak show. They sympathize with Iran. They sympathize with Iran. Yeah. Straight up freaks, rainbowed out. It's a freak show. I can't wait till Trump does some real bombing. Forgive me, God. There they are. There's the big Frank. Why are they still wearing masks? Yeah. There's all the rainbows out there. There's all the rainbows. There they are. The White House. Oh, they can't take the pressure. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's nothing they can do but cry like little sissies in the streets. Little homos, little lesbians. They're all little sissified, little fags and lesbos, and they're doing their little rainbow crybaby protest. If you put a microphone in their face and ask them a political question, they wouldn't know how to answer it. if you put a microphone in their face. Officer Tatum did it. They didn't know what they were protesting. Michael K. They didn't know what they were protesting. Hey, Bruce, there's a protest going on. Do you want to do it, Bruce? Yeah. Okay, Johnny. We could go over there later on. Can you do my hair again tonight, Johnny? Yeah. They're all fagged out, woked out, rainbowed out, and they got nothing better to do than just go against anything that Trump does. Even if it comes to protecting America against our number one enemy of the world, Iran. Yeah. I like that pink color and that purple color you got, Johnny. Yeah. We'll go protest. I don't know what it's about. But, they just want something to do if it's against Donald Trump. So they could do their little protests all they want. There's a new sheriff in town. He's not playing sissified lesbian games, homo games. He ain't playing any of that stuff. You could do all your protests till you're blue in the face. You're going to have to accept it, Billy and Bruce. You're going to have to accept it. We're protecting America. How sketched out and indoctrinated can a mind be? How sketched out that these ilk members of our society are that polluted in their minds? How? Are they aware there's a ceasefire? Are they even aware that there's been a ceasefire? Well, you can go home now, Billy and Bruce. There's a ceasefire. All's well now. So you can leave your little fag protest, okay? Go home. Go home. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is like a comic strip character. That's preposterous. That's preposterous. The attack on Iran. That's preposterous. These people want to just still try to be relevant in today's politics. These dinosaur bums like Bernie Sanders, they want to still feel like they have some relevancy. They're paramount to a cartoon character. They're nothing. They're nothing. God bless Donald Trump. God bless America. And they want to start proclaiming death to America. You're going to pay the price. So they can do their little freak shows in the streets and protest that are all scheduled by the Democrats. So they could play that game. You know what? Hardly anybody's watching anymore. Do your little show. They're putting on a show for themselves. It ain't changing any policy. Their little protests aren't going to change policy. They're going to just show their fag friends and their lesbians and all this and that we're still out here. We want to be relevant. You're irrelevant. You're not going to change policy. So all the Democrat cities, they can put on their little protests and fight the immigration policies and fight the policies with Israel and Iran. You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant. You're little sissified people that want to act relevant. You want to be in the limelight. You're irrelevant. Go put on your rainbow party and do what you do. Do what you do. God bless you. Do what you do. Go do what you do. Go bring that freak show somewhere else. You're irrelevant. Donald Trump, and he didn't even get any backlash from any of the Senate. Well, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? AOC, she's a scrub. They're going to sympathize with Iran. They're going to sympathize with Iran. Okay. All right. This is just complete common sense and logic, my friends. Complete. And the prime minister last night for Iran was speaking in Istanbul, and he was talking pretty brave. He was talking pretty brave. But he didn't get any word. They went to visit Putin, and Putin said, yeah, you're on your own. They couldn't get China. China was in geographical area for show. But at the end of the day, they ain't going to come out. They could say diplomatic jibber jabber stuff. Oh, whatever, this and that. But guess what? You can talk about what, but you ain't going to take no action. Russia is not going to take action against America. China isn't going to. We'll blow them off the face of the earth. Our military weapons are far more superior than Russia, China's, and North Korea. Forget about bombs like them little bombs we just put on them. We'll annihilate them from space. We will take them out from space. There will not be any soldiers, American soldiers. There will not be any casualties from all these other phony wars that American leaders got us into. No, it'll be nice and clean. It'll be some stealth bombers, and it'll be some lasers coming from outer space, and we will just destroy them. That's it. They know Donald Trump, he is not like any of our past leaders. If you want to play, we'll play. And if you want to see what kind of weapons we really have, forget about those 3 stealth bombers. Forget about those 3 that went in. That's the AAA league. That's Boy Scouts, what we sent in compared to what we're capable of doing. We could hit a quarter. We could hit a target the size of a quarter from outer space. Okay? So Ayatollah's sitting there going, yeah. Putin's like, we know. We have intelligence on the alien technology that we have because we have reverse engineered alien technology. And we're holding it. We're holding it. Lazar, I'll say one word. Lazar, remember Lazar? We have way more superior technology than anybody on planet Earth. So if they want to play, we can play. We're not gonna sacrifice any of our soldiers over these evildoers. We're gonna hit you from the sky. So you leaders, you better be in a bunker 1,000 feet in the ground if you want to dodge these bombs and these lasers. What do you think when they tell you we're having a mission into space? America has a mission into space, and we're going to do scientific tests on this and that, and atmospheric tests, and we're going to take samples from the moon. And what do you think they're doing also? They're setting up our Star Wars program and putting it in place so we could hit any target on planet Earth the size of a quarter. So if you want to play with Donald Trump, that's what you're up against. And I don't see any superpowers getting brave. I don't see any superpowers getting brave against Donald Trump. They know the first time Donald Trump got in office, he kept his promises. and he will do anything to make America safe again. So they don't want our smoke, Johnny D. They don't want our smoke, because this is just batting practice. This is batting practice in the cage. You want to get out on the real playing field, let's rock and roll. Now, I'm not an evil guy, but I'm an American. I'm a patriot. I'm from a military family. And I had friends and family in these phony wars, risking their lives for these crooked politicians that were just using war for profit. No, there ain't no more soldiers on the ground, boys and girls. We're going to hit you from the air. 3 pilots in the air. Fly in, fly home safely, and see your family in the morning. That's how we do it. Forgive me if I got evil in me. Forgive me if I got evil in me. But I'm kind of pissed off about this ceasefire. Forgive me, folks. Forgive me, God. Forgive me, God. I wanted to really see. God, forgive me. Forgive me. I should applaud peace. That should be the move. Peace and fellowship of man. Like John Lennon said. But in lieu of all these tactics that have been happening for decades, they could just weasel out and do the ceasefire, and all that happened was they got a couple nuclear plants bombed. That's all the retribution they got. A couple nuclear plants got bombed. Out of all the evil they've been perpetrating against America and globally. It's too easy. It's too easy. They deserve more. I hope that Ayatollah can't take the pressure. Go try to strike one of our military bases. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want all hell to break loose. Forgive me. They weasel out with a ceasefire. Oh, God, they took out a couple of our nuclear enriching plants. Yeah, oh. The punks that they are. The punks that they are. The big bullies. They get slapped across the face. Ceasefire. How long will it last? How long will it last? We'll see. And if they can't stick to the agreement, they will. Them citizens will be fleeing the airport, if they're allowed to, by the Ayatollah. They'll be fleeing from Iran because they know the bombs are going to start raining. So the public sentiment there must be, they're probably saying, please act right, Ayatollah. Please act right. Please act right. We don't want to get bombed. Please act right. Well, have a reformation and have a revolution and get a real leader in there. You know, back in 79, the Shah of Iran and Israel were friends. They were friends. 46 years ago. They were friends. You could take flights from Tel Aviv to Iran and from Iran to Tel Aviv. Until you got this bum in there that promised them all this and that, and he turned into a Hitler and oppressed his people. He shouldn't get away that easy. He should not get away that easy. He tried to kill Donald Trump. Donald Trump should try to kill him. The ceasefire, of course, we want peace. But it just seems like Iran is getting off the hook for all the terrorism they've been perpetrating for decades. I'd have to say, I'm sorry, folks. I need more blood. I'm sorry. I need some blood. You're taking shots at me. You're trying to assassinate me. And you think your little ceasefire agreement is going to stop America? Your problems with Israel might be, your problems with Israel might be great under this ceasefire, but I still have a beef with you, Iran. This is what Donald Trump should be thinking. I still have a beef. Well, okay, Israel ceasefire. That's fine and dandy. But what about these assassination attempts on me? This is a whole different story. This is a whole different animal. What about that? You could put the ceasefire and all that, remove that from the picture. But what about all the terrorism? What about the terrorist cells that are in America now? And what about the assassination attempts on me? I don't care about your ceasefire with Israel. We still got some unfinished business over here. You've been trying to kill me. So, yeah, okay. There's a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. That doesn't make Donald Trump and Iran buddies. Nah, I would need blood. You got shots. You got a coup that polluted our government and took shots at me and grazed me. If I don't turn my head, I'm a dead man. If I don't turn my head, I'm a dead man. And you think a ceasefire with Israel is going to cure the problems I have with you, Ayatollah? No, I'm coming for your head, bro. I'm coming for your head. Israel is a separate objective. Let's not forget the fact that you've been trying to terrorize America also and assassinate me. So this is a whole different ball of wax. I want your head, Ayatollah. Maybe down the road, we will see an attempt on Ayatollah. How's that, Ayatollah? I don't think Ayatollah will be coming out and speaking in public arenas anytime soon. Because there could be a revolution, an underground revolution starting in Iran right now, that they don't want these leaders causing their country to be, maybe they might get bombed, real bombed. So there might be a coup, underground coup, that America's financing to take Ayatollah out. How do they like it? Ayatollah has been sponsoring all these other terrorist organizations and financing them. How about America financing some attempts on Ayatollah? Tit for tat. You failed to get Trump. Well, let's see what happens to Ayatollah. Because there's about 4 bullseyes on his back right now. Because the citizens of Iran know that they've been under a dictator like Hitler. The citizens of Iran have family members that have been picked up off the street for doing nothing and executed. The citizens of Iran know the monster that this Ayatollah is. So it's not that far-fetched to think that get rid of the poison. They want a peaceful country. They don't want to get bombed. So it's going to be very interesting to see what transpires in the next days, weeks, and months. So, yeah. So, Ayatollah, you better figure it out, because you couldn't get Donald Trump. Donald Trump might be able to get you with a sniper. So you heard it first here, folks. You heard it here. So that's that. I spoke my piece. Mr. Bergio, thank you. Johnny D, thank you. Michael Key, my good people. God bless you all. I know I don't want to promote violence, but they got off the hook too easy. You could have a ceasefire with Israel, but we have unfinished business with Iran. That's a separate issue. We have unfinished business with Iran. Robert B., Joel Gold, Deb, Kath, love you all. So that's it from the Truth Serum. You know where the Cash App is, so help a guy out. You know what I mean. Help a guy out. I'm going to still do some shows and everything, and we're going to do that. So Iranian missiles targeted at U.S. base were intercepted. So here you have it. The Iran agreed to the ceasefire, but now there's missiles that have been directed at our U.S. bases. So you will see Donald Trump come back out and say, I tried, folks. I tried. They might have a ceasefire with Israel, but they're bombing us. They're bombing our bases. So now we're going to have to do this one-on-one with them. And there ain't going to be nothing left to Iran. Turn it into a big sheet of glass. That's that. Yeah. So there you have it. Go ahead. The evil in me, God forgive me, the evil in me is happy that they still want to instigate, because I want to see Iran get knocked off the face of the earth. Thank you. Be the kings and queens of your world. Be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. The world is a vampire. It wants that blood. Keep your head on straight. Keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't let go of the rope. You can rise up and you can succeed in every aspect of your life. Thank you, folks. God bless.